Alright, so welcome back to our playthrough of Skyrim. And we're going to hopefully continue from the last time. I say hopefully because I'm not sure the game properly saved us last time. But we didn't make a lot of progress anyways.
Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Yeah. I didn't save last time, that's what I'm talking about, and unfortunately for us, this means that we are back at the start, but that's alright. So like I said, not a lot of progress was lost. The only thing... Why do we have two daggers? That's interesting. Can we take them in two hands? Not sure. But anyways, so let's go to outside.
You're not serious.
Sure I am. We got some furs and tree branches, paint them white, and then tie them to stone. Instant frostbite spider.
Brodnar, nobody's gonna believe that your dog is a frostbite spider. And if they do, they'll kill him. That's not much of a prank.
Oh yeah? And what would you rather do?
How about we play tag? You're it.
Hey, no fair! Get her stumped!
Alright, yeah, let's go to Riverwood Trader.
Greetings, Thor. That armor looks like it could use a polish.
So does your pitch, boy. Didn't I tell you last time to be more specific? If you want someone's business, point out the stain on their chest plate or the blood on their boots.
But you don't have any stains on your chest.
Go tend to the chickens, boy.
Alright, I love these little conversations. So yeah, like I said, let's go to Riverwood Trader and let's exchange 6 hours of our work for 99 centimes.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
What are you doing that for?
Yeah, well, I don't know what you overheard, but the Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop. Yeah, we did have a bit of a break-in, but we still have plenty to sell. Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament, solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw. How can I argue with that? We could always use help. Of course.
Okay.
Thank you. Here, this is for you.
Alright, now we get 83 septims. Interesting, so it's a different amount of septims every time. That's cool.
Damn thieves. As if things weren't bad enough.
And now let's go outside. And let's save. Yeah, let's save here. Just in case. And let's go to Alvor and ask to train us in blacksmithing.
Every day we get visitors in Riverwood.
Yes, actually. How about you smith me an iron dagger? Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead.
Alright, so let's try making an iron dagger.
Not bad. Reminds me when I first started smithing. Whatever you need. Buy you smear if it's simple and strong. I can forge it. Not bad, but it's a little dull. How about you sharpen it up? Just need a bit of metal and the grindstone over there. Until next time.
Yeah, let's try to sharpen it. And get back to Alvor.
You looking for a new blade? This looks good. You put time into your blades. They'll serve you well when you need them. You want to keep helping? How about you make some armor? Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack.
Sure.
Iron or steel is what you need. Leave that fancy elven stuff to the elves. Ah, good. A lot of weapons and armor need leather for straps, fittings, that kind of thing. Let's see if you can make a hide helmet. Here's the rest of what you need. All right then.
Right, hide helmet. It's not at the tanning rack, so maybe it's made at the forge. Yes, that's kind of weird though, but anyways.
Whatever you need. Buy you smear if it's simple and strong. I can forge it. Huh. I should hire you to be my assistant at this rate. Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench over there.
Okay, so what does he want us to do now? Temper a hide helmet. Okay. No, I don't think that's it. Is it? Oh, he set to the workbench. Oh, alright. So that would be here. Okay, that improves the value and armor a little bit.
You looking for a new blade? You have talent. Keep working at your craft, and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you'll remember me when you're making Skyforged steel, huh?
Alright.
Yes? Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now I'm not sure where we got this lantern, but now we have it, which is pretty handy in the evening. And now that we do, we can go to the Riverwood trader and try to sell what we just made.
Ah, good to see you. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
So Lucan has 1700 septims. We can sell these two things. They don't sell for a lot though. And we can't really barter. Okay. I wonder if our problem with hair will go away if we wear a helmet. Find clothes.
Damn thieves.
What if I equip these? Okay, that's kind of better. As for the helmet, no, not really. No, the problem with hair is still there.
If things weren't bad enough.
So we did make some money, but not a lot. What I actually really want is to make a backpack of some sorts. Let me see. Do I need to make it at the forge? It seems so, yes. Okay, there's a lot of backpacks we can choose from. And for example, this one requires I think the UI is a little bit broken because I can't see the requirements properly. That's a shame. Can I tune it a bit? Let me try to debug it a little bit. Let's save, by the way, before we break more things. Alright, so there's a lot of stuff. Right, so let's see if this is the thing. Let's try again. Yes, this was the thing. Alright, and now that we have this, let's see. Okay, requires corundum ingot and 4 leather. And these simpler ones, 2 iron ingots, 2 leather strips and leather. Yeah, I think we'd have to go to this simpler one, because I don't even know what corundum ingot is. So we need 2 iron ingots, 2 leather strips, 1 leather, no, yeah, 2 leather strips, and 1 leather, okay. And
Whatever you need, take a look.
let's buy, oh, this corundum ingot. Its value is 176, that's way too much. How many ingots do we have? None? Yes, none. Okay, let's buy 1. Or did it say 2? I think it said 2. And we can use a tanning rack to turn 1 leather into leather strips, I think. Actually, we can use our hide helmet. It's even better because I'm not going to wear it. Perfect. I think that's all I need. Let me see. Where are backpacks in this menu, I wonder? So it's not in armor. Oh, it's in clothing. Okay, that's weird. But anyway, now we can make a backpack. A clean backpack. The only difference is the model, apparently. Backpack without straps. And adventurous backpack without straps. Okay, let's make this adventure backpack. Alright, and let's equip it now. Alright, it's glitching a little bit. Yeah, for the same reason. The hair is glitching. Because it's a physics object. With stuff dangling. Nice. Let me see if I can. First of all, let's save the game. And let me see if I can configure this. And not sure where that is though. I guess that would be something like player, show player and menus. Okay. Yes, rotate camera instead of rotating the player. Okay, let's see. Okay, if I click here now. Alright. And if I do this. Okay, yeah, this is better. The physics items still glitch, but at least now by default we don't have glitching animation. And in dialogue, yeah, everything still stays the same. Alright, yeah, the only thing is it's getting kind of late. And I'm not sure that we need to sleep or not, but let's get back into the inn.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. I think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Okay, that's promising. Let's rent a room to sleep.
You're that visitor been poking around.
What do you mean poking around? I just got here.
It's yours for a day.
But which one
I'm
is...
the innkeeper. It's my business to keep track of strangers.
Is it that one? Which room is my room? I'm not sure.
We don't get a lot of travelers here in Riverwood.
Nope, that's not my room. Maybe this one is my room? Nope, still not my room. And... okay, this is my room. Alright.
We drink to our youth, to days come and gone.
It's still strange that it all says steel. Okay, I'm going to try to sleep here. They're in my backpack, apparently. Okay, sleeping is also manual here, so you need to sort of decide how long you want to rest. You awaken from your slumber dazed. As you glance around, you find your water skin lying beside you. You begin to notice the chill in the air and the grumble of your belly. You understand now that if you take a sip, things will be different from here on out. Do you want to continue down this path? Okay, apparently this is the time where you can enable like survival mode or something, like where you need to feed yourself and drink.
We will drink and we'll sing.
And
Children of Skyrim, and we fight all our lives. And when Southern beckons, none of us dies.
that adds a water skin into our inventory that we can use to drink. When we get thirsty.
We'll see it wiped clean of the scourge that has sullied our hopes and our dreams.
These are some interesting books. Standing Stones. Book of Riddles. So this particular book, An Explorer's Guide to Skyrim, is glowing a little bit. So let's see what's that all about. An Explorer's Guide to Skyrim by Marcus Carvane. Oh wow. Okay. Far too often, noble visitors from Cyrodiil see little more of Skyrim than the view from their carriage. To be sure, this coarse, uncivilized province is far from hospitable, but it is also a place of fierce, wild beauty, with grand vistas and inspiring natural wonders, awaiting those with the will to seek them out and the refinement to truly appreciate them. If you are of a mind to see Skyrim for yourself, I recommend beginning your adventure as I did, by seeking out Stones of Fate. No doubt you are taken aback by the name, as I once was. The provincials and village folks have all manner of dark tales about these ancient monuments. Stories of neuromantic rituals and fell spirits of great and terrible powers conferred on any who are dare to touch them. The stories are, as Jarl Igrof once told me, a load of mammoth's dung. A bit uncouth, but you get the point. To be sure, keep your guards with you at all times. Brigades and wild animals are never to be taken lightly, but the stones themselves are nothing to fear. Quite the contrary. Their proximity to cities and roads makes them ideal destinations for the novice explorer, and many boast spectacular views that make the journey well worth the effort. To whet your appetite, here are 4 such locations. Most travelers enter Skyrim by way of Helgen, gateway to the north. If you find yourself in this backwater hovel, consider taking an afternoon's ride to the north, keeping to the road as it winds down the cliffs at the eastern end of Lake Ilinalta, just off the path. On a small bluff lie the 3 Guardian Stones, the greatest concentration of standing stones in all Skyrim. To view the lake here at sunset is simply sublime. Visitors from Cheydinhal will pass through Riften, city of intrigue and larceny since Tiber Septim's day. If you seek adventure in the Rift, leave the city by the southern gate and cast your gaze upon the bluff that rises to the south. Atop it sits the Shadow Stone, a fitting symbol for the city of thieves. Whiterun is the heart of Skyrim, its towering palace rivaling even the great castles of Cyrodiil. But should you tire of the Jarl's hospitality, another adventure awaits a few hours to the east of the city, along the road that rises above White River Gorge. The ritual stone can be found atop the lone hill that rises on the north side of the road, set into an ancient monument. Take time to soak in the incredible view of Whiterun, the tundra, and the gorge from this unique spot. More seasoned explorers may wish to visit Markath, the ancient city of stone, far to the west. The recent Forsworn rebellion has made travel in the reach perilous, but for those determined to seek adventure, no matter the cost, another stone can be found to the east of the city. Perched on the mountain above Kolseg Mine, through the Though the climb is difficult, reaching the summit is a milestone any explorer could be proud of. There are other stones of fate to be found in Skyrim. I myself have seen several more, perched on the most remote mountain peaks, or wrapped in fog amid the northern marshes. But the true joy of exploration is in the discovery, and so I leave the rest to you. May the 8 guide your steps. Okay, that was educational. We did learn about the location of the stones. So if we look at the map now, they are indeed marked on our map. These guardian stones are of course the ones that the player sees first during the normal Skyrim playthrough. And another one is here to the east of Whiterun, as the book was telling about, and to the south of Riften, of course, the Shadowstone, and another one is here to the far west, the lower Stone. Okay. And that is the knowledge that we have picked up from this book. Apparently the rest of the books are not going to add anything to our map or anything like that. But if we open this one, for example, yeah, it doesn't add anything. And not even the quest journal. And since we have spent our night here, what's the time, by the way? Okay, it's about sunrise. We do need to start earning money though. And also I wonder if I can control this light that we have on our belt. So let me save. And let me see what button might control that. Hmm. Yeah, I wasn't able to find anything. Right. Oh, apparently it's L. Okay. That's useful to know. As in for light. Okay, so last time I was also thinking about doing alchemy, because even though we don't have any recipes learned yet, it seems like the alchemy ingredients are all over the place and don't take that much effort to collect. So maybe it would be a good idea to learn potion making. And sell potions as our early game way of making money. Because my plan is to gear up a little bit here in Riverwood and venture to other destinations eventually. Yeah, this is Road to Helgen, for example, but it would be nice to see what the rest of the world looks like. And aside from alchemy, the other skill we would need, of course, is to be able to get better prices. And that would mean I guess dumping our skill points into the speech tree. Yeah, sell items for 10% more. And buy items for 15% less. Yeah, this would be our skill tree to make money. Okay, so we have our work cut out for us. And at first, we need to level up. And in order to do that, we kinda need to do things. Let's talk to this guy. Malik.
Ah, another stranger passing through Riverwood. Off on the next adventure,
You could say that.
Fair enough. But if you're seeking excitement and riches, this ain't the place, I'm afraid. Riverwood does have its charms, but I imagine they're not quite what you're looking for.
Why these responses are so insulting? It is a charming place. And I don't want to be rude to locals. So this is a definitely worse option. Let's go with this one.
Vendal and Sven keep things interesting from day to day with their bickering. But it's not all bad. It's peaceful. Quiet. The most exciting thing to happen here in recent memory was a drunken brawl over 2 cheese wheels and a chicken. It must be a Nord thing. In any case, I'm glad to have some time, and more importantly, respite from the world.
Okay, let's hear this guy's story.
Here's the same as anywhere else, I suppose. Why not? The Riverwood type? It's okay, stranger. I know what you mean. You're correct. I am no farmhand or errand boy. I am, or was, a soldier. But that life is behind me now. I've taken a few beatings in my time. You've got a good sense for it, that's for sure. I can tell you, if you'd like. But let's get somewhere more comfortable first. Come, follow me.
Sure. Let's follow this guy.
I do apologize for the pace. My leg isn't quite what it used to be.
And the guy's stuck. No, please don't get stuck. I think the guy's stuck.
There we go.
Let's help him a little bit. Like that, maybe? Yes. And we can turn off the light, I think. Yeah, you can see that Feindal is not what he looked like in the original game at all, so... Again, this is somewhat of a more fantasy thing. Okay, now Malik is stuck on a chicken. Yeah, more of a fantasy sort of anime, I would even say, like, look. that is fine, but again, let's see if that would really fit with the rest of the aesthetics of the game. So far, I'm not 100% convinced. Okay, wait, what? You just leading me to the other side of the same island? What was wrong with the place where you were, Malik? Why couldn't you tell your story back then? Oh, you have some... Oh, I see. You have some ale here. Yeah, that's understandable.
There we go.
Okay.
Let's make this absolutely clear. I don't know who you are or how you found me, but if you try anything, I will kill you. The Dominion pays well, of that I have no doubt. But even a cripple can still hold a blade.
So this guy does have a story. Okay, so I'm not really in a position to fight that guy. So let's try to keep it friendly.
Mercenaries come in many guises, so you'll have to forgive me for not taking you at your word. How much did they pay you, Your weight in jewels? The promise of an emissary's position? You're an idiot if you think the Dominion keeps its word.
Here, Brennan, do you accuse me? Do you accuse everyone that talks to you about being a spy? Stand down, soldier. You ensure the Dominion. Let's go with this option. You're paranoid. Do you accuse me? Do you accuse everyone that talks to you of being a spy?
Until I see evidence to the contrary, I have no reason to believe you. Riverwood is a quiet town. Good people here. And I won't let you change that.
Okay. Okay, so the first option is yeah, let's go with the first option. At least that will keep him talking.
Maybe so. But why did you approach me in the first place? I have no errands for you to run, no gold to spare. The only thing I have in abundance now is time.
Yeah, I'm not your enemy, I only want to talk.
Very well. You seem honest enough. Let's sit down first. Then you can ask me whatever you'd like. My leg has started cramping again, as it is.
Alright.
I hope you'll not begrudge a veteran for being careful, but it pays to look out for one's enemies, no matter how long it's been. No. If there's anything I know for certain, it's that the Thalmor never forget those who cross them. Even a sleepy village like Riverwood can attract unwanted attention, if you're not careful.
What did you do to the Dominion?
The better question is, what didn't we do? I'm from a small hamlet on the edge of Alchemy. Conditions could be worse than Morrowind's at times, but it was honest, and life made sense.
Okay, you sound like you miss it.
But there's too much bad blood there now, too many bad memories. Not just me, but for us all.
So what changed?
The Dominion, of course. I was still half a boy at that age. Bull-headed, rash. But I wanted to make a difference. Help the fight against elven supremacy. Ugh. Thalmor forces were already in Hammerfell before the Great War had officially started. So I began working with a local band across the Alakir. Must have been quite a shock to the elves, to come from lush grasslands and comfort to nothing but desolate wastes as far as the eye can see. Lutes and poetry weren't going to be much help there. There's an old saying that the sands swallow all. We'd used the storms to cover our approach, and strike quickly before they had a chance to react. Most of us were just pulled from local settlements, men and women that had been thrown into warfare with only basic martial training. But we made it work, fought as hard as anything to keep our home.
Okay, very successful.
For a time, we had some close calls, and magic is always an unknown in combat. But we fought hard, won a few victories, even joined a battle near the entrance of Montelion. That was chaos if I ever saw it. Soon enough, the locals who had barely learned to hold the right end of a blade were veterans, forged through blood and war.
Yeah, I'm not a mage. You must have been proud.
Of course, you might not have known each other at the start, but going through that together brought a kind of bond, a mutual understanding of everything we'd been through and faced.
What happened next?
Good soldiers are worth their weight in gold. Soon enough, we went our separate ways, summoned off to different patrols. The war was gripping all of Tamriel by this point, and even the nobles understood that we couldn't be getting much help from the outside. I had taken a poison arrow during one of the last night raids, and was recovering in Sentinel. A short respite from battle, but a welcomed one. As any soldier can tell you, you take whatever sleep you can get. A lot of wounded in the city, but the guard kept it together, and the Dominion off our backs.
But that wasn't the end for you.
No. In fact, it was quite the opposite. While recovering and visiting some friends, I was approached by one of the forebears. The siege had recently been broken, and finally it seemed like the two were going to get their heads out of the sand. She was old blood, respected in the city, and as a joint effort with the Crowns, they organized a warband. By Satakal, it seemed someone got the idea that I should be picked to lead them.
That's quite an offer.
It was. Something like that doesn't come around every day. Strictly need to know, armed with the best gear Hammerfell gold could buy, to strike fear in any who dared to cross into our lands.
And you accepted?
Of course. I may have been injured, but those few weeks hadn't made me go soft. I was eager to get back into the field and tear the Dominion a new one. We shook hands, and the next day I went to meet them. My people. We met in an old ruin beneath the city. Only a few guards on hand. Introductions were made, plans laid out, and we toasted, even as Dominion spells pummeled the gates outside. As for my fellows, well, I could tell we were going to get along just fine. We headed out next morning.
What were they like?
Some of the finest men and women I've ever known. War has a tendency to make or break a person, but these ones... I don't know if you fought in a war, traveler. Real war. But if you're lucky, every once in a while, you'll come into contact with someone who just has it. Skill, luck, bit of the gods on their side. I don't know, but each and every one of them was like fury itself in battle. We were the very best Hammerfell had to offer, and we were going to make Thalmor pay their tribute in blood.
Tell me about
The
that.
frontal team was led by an enormous Pomarat, gold flecks tinting a mane that had been decades in the making. From what I've heard, they're a rare sight outside of the Khajiit's homeland, but if you saw him fight, you'd understand why I was glad to have him on our side. A lot of great warriors out there, but few would dare risk locking blades with someone like him. More than once, he'd lean forward and sink his fangs into the enemy's face. Rip their throat out even. The Thalmor never saw it coming. Outside of battle, though, Saja was a quiet one. He was content to keep watch while the rest of us slept, meditating under the moons.
Who else?
Alongside Saja and I, there was an old man, Arlund, disgraced son of one of the minor houses, or some such thing. It didn't seem to matter to him, of course. And certainly not us, but by the sands could that man fight. The art has been lost to history for as long as anyone can remember, but he captured even the smallest fragment of what the Arnshai once were. Sword singers. Never seen anyone before or since handle a blade quite like he could. The damn fool could be grouchy, and wave take you if you interrupted his battle preparations. But he was a dear friend. Not content to live out his days in bed, he fought to the last.
What about the others?
With the three of us diving into the thick of it, we had support from all sides to protect our flank. First was the Bosmer, Niels. I've never been to Valenwood, but the way he held a bow was a work of art. He was small, but he could use that to his advantage, dropping down before a patrol even had a chance to react. Before he'd even touched the ground, 3 arrows would find their mark. But he was always disappointed it couldn't be 4. A bit mad. He loved taking scalps wherever he could, but he moved like water and saved our hides on more than one occasion. Next was Kara, Aldmeri battle mage.
And Altmer?
Yes, surprising, no? Fate must have had a sense of humor, sending someone of that caliber into the arms of the Resistance. She could tear any of her kin apart with a spell, and took pleasure in it too. Kara never told us what had brought her from Alinor, but then again, we never asked. She was a firebrand, all right, and gods protect you if you said anything about her heritage or homeland.
You tolerated her all the same.
Of course. She made her allegiance clear from the moment we met, and we never had any reason to doubt her. It was always very matter-of-fact with her. Anything that needed to be done, got done. She'd crawl out of oblivion itself if it'd get her home back.
Was there anyone else?
There was Sunvar. I suppose you'd call him our healer, although he personally hated the term. Sure, he knew some restoration magic and could whip up a poultice in the field, but his real skill laid in alchemy. More than once, we'd stop on the road only to find that he wandered off to collect supplies a few leagues back. Oils, poison, explosives, you name it. He had a knack for the stuff, surprising for a Nord. But that was our merry band all around, wasn't it? Finally, there was Tanwyn, the only one I knew before the war, but I would prefer not to speak of her.
It's quite the party.
We were a family of sorts. Any commander can send new blood to their death. I suppose it was a luxury that I could come to know them at all. Trust them. Madness had brought us together, but they were all good people. Honest. Even under difficult conditions, there was never a shred of doubt. I've been fortunate to fight alongside people I'd gladly die for. Even more so, to have walked away from that war at all.
What was your objectives?
It was simple, really. Disrupt Dominion activities wherever we could. At first it was mostly helping protect the roads or the occasional emissary. As the war progressed, we were given more specific tasks. Sabotage and the like. Extinguishing fires, slitting throats as the Thalmor slept, and disappear before the first light. Soon enough, a bit of a legend began to develop. The ghosts of Ban Karai. Deadly wraiths waiting in the reaches of the Alakir.
Did you like the name?
I believe it was the locals that had started the tale. A superstition after patrols no doubt failed to return. It was all nonsense, of course. But as far as we were concerned, anything to shake the Dominion's resolve had its uses. No one, no matter how skilled at tracking, knows the wastes better than my people. And we used that to our advantage. But we referred to ourselves by our own name. Enough time has passed that the name is now only that. But once the Resistance only had to utter it to make captured spies cave. Huh.
Good. Fear is the best tactic. Break them down slowly.
weren't suited to attrition or open warfare. Thousands and thousands charging at each other in an open plain. Our strengths lay in quick, ruthless attacks. Give everything we had and move out before any scouts nearby showed. A fireball to scatter mounted soldiers, arrows from an elevated point. Then the rest of us moved in to clear up. The Thalmor showed no mercy, so why would we show them any in return?
You did what needed to be done, there's no shame in that.
You understand. Good. Hesitation, empathy. All these things are luxuries. Perhaps things could have gone a different way, but we did what we needed to do. Only nobles in their comfortable manners have the time to debate right and wrong. The rest of us just have to live with it.
But you continued to fight.
Yes. By then it seemed like all Tamriel had fought to a standstill. But the war just dragged on. Our party was moving around Hammerfell more freely, but we could only be in one place at a time. Let one village burn so you can help protect another. Assault a war party or keep the Thalmor scouts blind. 100 lives or 1,000. Simple choices, but so much more to consider. In any case, that's how it was. One morning, we must have been camped by a small oasis. A rider came charging up. We received letters from Sentinel and other cities before, of course, but this was unexpected.
What did it say?
We had been ordered to a small village on the border with Cyrodiil to await members of the Dominion command passing through. Our contact was a bard of all things, a young Imperial woman by the name of Lavella Dientis. She had been scouting the place out before our arrival.
You must have been wary of walking into a trap.
Of course, but the letter was legitimate, and we weren't exactly in a position to refuse with a war going on. Within a couple of days, we'd left the wastes of the Alakir behind us and headed for greener pastures.
What happened next?
When we arrived, it was late at night, but that gave us a bit of time to check the place out. Calling it a village was certainly generous. It was more of a loose collection of hovels than anything else. A couple of houses, a run-down farm on the eastern edges, and your typical tavern to pull it together. Nothing out of the ordinary. Next morning we headed in and visited the tavern. Our illustrious contact was dressed in finery, playing to bleary-eyed peasants. It was all very surreal.
What were they like?
Mostly farmers. They appeared to tolerate Dientis' presence as long as she steered clear enough to let them drink in peace. I don't know much about lutes and singing, but she was clearly skilled. Why it was her, someone who'd draw the attention of everyone within 100 leagues as our contact, though, was beyond me. Anyway, despite some misgivings, there was no sign of the Dominion, and the innkeeper's family were decent folk as we settled in.
Did Lavella had any information?
Surprisingly, yes. The letter did turn up something we could use. Dientis told us that a group of emissaries and nobility from Alinor had been traveling with a larger force through the east of Hammerfell. However, the force had split off to move into Skyrim, so these nobles were moving to an encampment in southern Cyrodiil, right into our path.
What made them special? Why not direct your efforts elsewhere?
Sure, we knew that killing Thalmor only meant that 3 would take their place, but any opportunity to disrupt their chain of command would prove useful. Besides, getting targets all in one place was too good to ignore, and after everything we'd seen, we were eager to offer them our hospitality.
I can imagine.
Dientis was eager to get it done and leave the place, but we enjoyed some brief respite. Each day we checked the roads, using the woods to stay unseen. Then, well, the time finally came.
What happened?
As I said, the village was no fortress. There were some makeshift stables that could provide cover from arrows, but not a whole lot else. Most of the villagers heeded my warning and left before the Dominion arrived, but the innkeeper was stubborn. Said that he wouldn't move, even if Ball himself was coming. We decided that the best way to draw them out would be to stage an attack in the woods and bring them into the village. Close quarters would be our advantage, and hopefully give us enough time to deal with any spells. Diantis volunteered to play victim of a bandit attack, a little too eagerly, actually, but she was our best hope for getting their attention. All that was left to do was move into position. I waited inside the inn with Saja and Sunvar to play the part of drunken bandits, getting fat off the latest raid and hopefully enough to get the Dominion's attention.
What about the others?
Arlund was dressed as a blind old traveler, nursing a drink on the ground just outside with Nillis on the roof or the stables nearby. Kara had a Justicar's outfit, so would move in with the rest of the group as they approached the village. Tanwin, well, she wanted to sit by me, act as the concubine to my dastardly bandit leader.
Did the plan work?
No. Almost from the moment we put it into motion, things began to spin out of control. We had assumed that, once we got their attention, the group would move into the village as one. The Aldmeri work as single parties. They're not suited to scouting or smaller warbands. They use the Barsmur or Khajiit for that. Numbers weren't a problem provided we could use the surroundings to our advantage. But it was going to be a tough fight. You can imagine what it was like when 2 Justicars rode in ahead of the group, just as we were getting ready.
What did you do?
The only thing we could do. Stick to the plan and hope that Diantis would draw in the rest of them. All of us knew the risks, knew what we were in for. But when the 2 Justicars walked in, no one dared to even breathe.
Why didn't you just kill them?
I certainly considered it, but had they managed to get a spell off, it would scatter the rest of the group. Or at the very least, it would blow our disguises trying to deal with the bodies. It wasn't easy, but we had to keep going. The innkeeper could tell something was wrong, but served up the Justicar some drinks. With Satakal's eyes on our side, they'd soon leave or be too drunk to react when we did attack. But those 2 elves, they decided to come and sit with us instead.
Turn for the worse.
I could see that Tanwin wanted to reach across and throttle them. The Justicars just sat down and struck up a conversation. I remember I kept looking between the door, straining to hear any movement outside. And Saja, who had one hand on their blade. But the Justicars just sat there, ordering more drinks. Maybe they could see we were on edge. Perhaps they just didn't care. Either way, we weren't going anywhere.
How did you get out of
The
it?
innkeeper was ready to move at a moment's notice, but the Alchemy didn't budge. Those of us inside the kept up the act as the Justicars continued to drink and drink. We might have been able to kill them, but it was too much of a risk. Suddenly we heard the bulk of the group moving in. It seemed Diantis had kept her word after all. With no sign of Nillis or Kara, I assumed they were in position and ready to go. The group had arrived, and after a brief pause, a few of the nobles walked in, ordering some wine that the innkeeper had prepared for them especially. They glanced at Saja out of curiosity, but there was no sign they recognized us.
What about the 2 sitting at your table?
They were well and truly drunk by that point, having a jest with Sunvar, who was just staring at them, his jaw clenched. The Dominion relaxed, and I could even hear one of the guards outside talking with Arlund.
What happened next?
A Justicar on the table opposite sat down and pulled down her hood, revealing Kara beneath. She was anxious, but there was no way we could talk without drawing unwanted attention. Something was wrong, and we were in deep. It was going to get bloody. The only question was when.
But you still had the advantage, didn't you?
Maybe, but it had been a mistake to draw the Aldmeri into the tavern. I, had underestimated what they'd do. Still, we sat there until one of the nobles came shambling over and started flirting with Tanwin. Clearly they thought we were simple travelers, and thought to buy a night with her using gold. I kept up the gruff bandit act, giving him some excuse that she was mine or whatever. But he kept pushing. Tanwin was so tense I thought she was about to snap, but brushed it off, until the noble leaned forward and put his hand on her thigh. Tadwin pushed him off of her in disgust, and suddenly, everyone was on their feet.
What happened next?
I've been lucky enough to walk away from many situations that would have killed another, but nothing could prepare someone for something like that. Perhaps it was our fault for not moving sooner, for not calling the whole thing off. Perhaps it had been doomed from the start. But it doesn't matter. It was too late. The Thalmor were ready to go, the noble indignant at some dog and his whore for refusing the likes of him. There was no turning back. 3 arrows came tearing through the open windows, hitting the drunks and then the noble, right through the throat. As everyone drew their weapons, I threw my weight forwards, flipping the table onto its side as a bolt of electricity crackled against it. That damn innkeeper had managed to time his throws with Kara, using some cheap bottles to throw on the elves while she followed up with a fireball. As the smell of burnt flesh assailed us, Tanwin and I leapt out of the nearest window, with Saja, bloody and enraged, not far behind.
How many were there?
It was better than I was expecting, worse than I hoped. Our Lund stood over 2 soldiers that had been standing guard, but more Thalmor were already running towards us. I could see Nilus on the roof nearby picking off as many as he could, but we were going to be overrun, and there was only one way out. Sunvar stepped out, his hands bloodied from beating one of the drunkard's skulls, with the wounded innkeeper in tow. The heat from behind us was overwhelming, but we drew our weapons to meet the oncoming horde.
The final stand.
I wish it had been. There was no way we'd be able to make it to the trees, and the horses the Dominion had arrived on were long gone. We stood back to back, but it was not enough. Our Lund was the first to fall, an arrow through the shoulder, and then a charger's sword. One of the battle mages collapsed the roof under Nilus, and I heard him cry as the soldiers moved in. Sunvar. He fought through the pain, wielding whatever he could get after losing his weapon. He fell with his kinsman, the innkeeper, teeth clenched in a blinding fury as he pushed his fingers as far as he could into a noble's eye sockets. Tanwin and I were protecting each other's flanks, our sabers bloodied by elven filth. But no matter how hard we fought, it wasn't enough. One by one, I watched my party die, even as more of the Dominion poured into the village ruins. Saja, right until the end, fought like one of the gods themselves. Warhammer, claws, teeth, whatever that damn Khajiit could do. But one of the Justicars blinded him with a flask, and a group of them managed to overwhelm Kara before she could help.
Watching your friends die like that, I can't imagine.
Nor should you. Command is difficult, but we weren't just some garrison out in the wilderness. We were friends, and their deaths are on my hands.
How did you survive?
Bloodied and near collapsing from exhaustion, I could see some of the Alchemy commanders just standing there on the edge of the village, waiting for us to either submit or die. I received an arrow through my shoulder, and then my leg for my stubbornness, and could no longer fight. Tanwin, she tried to pull my broken arse back to safety, but one of the elves ran her through when her back was turned. The sound of combat died away, and for a few moments we just lay there on the ground, waiting for the end to come. My apologies, traveler. I need a moment, and a drink.
Wow, that's quite a story. It's like 20 minutes of recorded dialogue. Yeah, this is unexpected and very welcome. And the base game of Skyrim never did such things for some reason. And it was almost as if they were afraid that people were going to get bored sitting to interesting wartime stories or something. I don't know. But yeah. Apparently modders picked it up and made it better, which I appreciate very much. So this guy said he wanted a drink. Let me save here. And let's see if I can take this ale and maybe give it to him.
Ah, another traveler. Yes. You'll have to forgive me. It seems retelling this was more difficult than I expected. It's been a long time. I could hear Tanwyn wheezing. A terrible, airy noise as she breathed through her wounds. The blood was pouring out of me just as fast. As for the Thalmor, they pulled back. But I could hear someone approaching. One of their commanders came into view. At first I thought he was going to finish us off. But he just stood there, his brow furrowed, staring down at us as if he'd never seen a person die before. As if we were objects for him to study. But in the end, there was nothing I could do. I used the last of my strength to pull myself over to where Tanwyn was lying. We'd come from the same village, fought for years at each other's side. She managed to squeeze my hand softly, just once, before I heard her breathe her last. Then darkness took me.
Do you think Dianthus betrayed you?
Possibly. I suppose the hardest part is that I'll never know. She disappeared, never to be heard of again. Perhaps she did keep her word, but was killed herself. Maybe she thought we could deal with the larger force. Maybe the group we were to intercept had changed, or someone tipped them off we were in the area. Or maybe there was no Lavella Dianthus. It was a Dominion ruse from the beginning. It doesn't matter anymore. What's done is done.
What happened next?
I awoke to find myself chained to the back of a rusted cage. I was delirious, half dead really, and the agony of losing all of them had taken its toll. But still, somehow I clung to life. It was slow and painful. But as the Dominion crowed over their new prisoner, I began to recover. Eventually I was handed over to a scouting band and taken to one of the camps.
What was it like after you've been captured?
Your average prison is usually just an extension of the local fort or castle. A couple of cells chiseled out of the walls with some guards to patrol it. The Dominion, though, they built them to last. No doubt with magic at their aid, the camps were designed to be in the most hostile areas available, ensuring that if someone did manage to escape, they wouldn't make it on their own. I spent the first few months carefully examining the defenses, and it'd be no easy task. Large, reinforced metal barriers, 3 rings deep, kept everyone locked tightly behind them. Spells or explosives would have barely made a dent. And the Justicars were everywhere, always watching. Some people would crack just under the stress. Then there were the beatings, torture, executions. The Dominion prides itself on being cultured and superior. But in reality, this is just a facade. They may be even more cruel than the Dwemer.
I can imagine.
Life in the camps wasn't so bad at first. They bring you just enough food to keep you alive. A mysterious slop that tastes like boiled leather. I was in a bunker with about 100 others. Mostly Redguards, but there were some orcs as well. Even a Bosmer, though he didn't last long. As you slowly begin to waste away, the lethargy ensures that prisoners are docile. Then, your biggest enemy is time. But every now and again, there needed to be a reminder of how things worked, the established order. It was a couple of weeks after I'd been captured before I saw this demonstrated. The Justicars came into each bunker in force and pulled us all out in the middle of the night. Some of us didn't even have time to dress, and the Alakir can be very cold at night.
What happened?
They brought out a Khajiit. Pathetic little thing. Whimpering and emaciated. They looked like they were close to death as it is. After a short speech from the camp's captain, a group of Justicars set to work on that poor cat. No magic at first, just beating every inch of them. And we just stood there, silent, except for the cries as the Khajiit was beaten to death. That is what the Thalmor had reduced us to.
Why? What purpose did it serve?
I don't know, but it was unnecessary and cruel. Sometimes it wasn't even prompted. Maybe our captors just got bored. Whatever it was, it always ended the same way. Anyone who made a sound, cried out, who dared to show their humanity, they were taken away and we never saw them again. Married couples had the worst of it, since the Thalmor would separate us out. Everyone knew what they were doing, but we couldn't lift a finger. Some of the guards would even walk past the bunkers deliberately and just smile. To have your heart's desire in reach, your very being screaming out to protect the one you love, and you can't do a thing. Another time, one sadistic mage in particular forced us all to watch as he flayed the scales off an Argonian with his dagger. Heard he's an emissary now, toasting with the nobles in Alinor.
I'm so sorry, I can't imagine what you endured.
How could they watch on, I wondered. Not just my kinsmen, but all of Tamriel. Everyone knew what was happening, knew it was wrong, but they did nothing. Why? Because in the end, it's not the Thalmor who we struggle against, but ourselves. And apathy, traveler, is death. Even now, here in the free north, no one pays any mind when someone gets taken in the night, whisked away to an untimely end in Northwatch. Life just goes on.
How did you escape in the end?
I didn't. I spent a better part of 2 years in that cursed place. 2 years. Small amount of time for some, but many good people went behind those gates. Few returned. By the time the resistance rolled through, the Great War had already ended. The Dominion was pulling its forces back. Talks had begun over the Concordat. All very neat for the nobles in Imperial City, but they hadn't lived through what we'd seen. Those who could still stand ran to the gates, braced strangers. So glad to see anyone other than a cursed Aldmer. Many were so weak, however, they couldn't even stand up. They just stared at you. Hollow, empty eyes.
What about you?
I was fortunate enough to have some strength left. My leg had been broken in a beating, but I could still walk. The moment I stepped out of the gates, I'm not ashamed to admit that I cried. I wept for my brothers and sisters, for our home, for all that had perished at the Dominion's hands. It was morning then, looking out at the sun poking over the edge of the horizon, illuminating the sands. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Freedom. They had beaten us, they tortured us, but they hadn't broken us. After everything we endured, there was victory in that, I think. I stayed to help my kinsmen nurse those who were in need of care back to health, or at least ease their passing. Bit by bit, the camp was torn down and we scattered to the winds along with it. Nothing remains of what stood there now.
Thank you for trusting me with your story. I'm honored.
You're very welcome. But we've been here for a while, no? I'm sure you'd wish to return to the road, or whatever it is you adventurers do. You were kind to listen to an old fool indulge in some memories. The older you get, the more you'll realize that's all you have. Take care, traveler. And, as a friend of mine used to say, may the road lead you to warm sands.
Wow, yeah.
Damn leg's playing up. I should see a healer one of these days.
Yeah, that's quite a story this guy told us. And, yeah, again, this is something you never get in vanilla Skyrim. And it's such a shame because the lore of the game is so rich. And, yeah, you can invent countless stories like this that tie everything together, all that's happening in the game. But yeah, for some reason they decided that the breadth of this game is more important than the depth. Let me save real quick.
just stoked the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
I wonder if Malik has more stories.
Greetings to you.
No, it seems like he does not, but... Anyways, yeah, that's like 30 minutes of dialogue from a mod. That's impressive. What's also impressive is that we have spent a full in-game day talking with him, and apparently we're still not hungry or thirsty. That is interesting. What I wanted to try to do is maybe configure how much the day takes. Because like 20 minutes is very short amount of time. Let's see. 5 o'clock and 8. Yeah, I'm not sure which mod actually controls that. Unfortunately, I don't know and I couldn't find it. That's fine though.
Once was a hero named Ragnar the Red who came riding to Whiterun from old Rorikstead. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of bold battles and gold he had made. But then he went quiet, did Ragnar the Red, when he met the shield maiden Matilda, who said,
Greetings, stranger. The name's Jormir, and I'm at your service. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Perhaps you need your boots shined, or your tunic washed, or need a letter delivered?
And the braggart named Ragnar was boastful no more, when his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
I wonder who can we send a letter to? So let's choose this option. No, no, and maybe. Do you have a quill?
Oh, right. I knew I forgot something. Is it a long missive? Perhaps I can memorize it.
Okay, let's write this letter. Dearest love, I shall be there at midnight's delight when the twin moons.
Whoa, whoa. Can you slow down a second? There's no way I can remember all that without some sort of potion.
Yeah, really, you're really bad at this.
Maybe. Or maybe I just need the right teacher. You seem well-traveled. Are you in need of an apprentice? I'll cook and clean, and can set traps to catch game. Really? I'll do everything you ask. Just say the word.
Yeah, I have a feeling this guy will be worth more trouble than he's useful, so I'm not sure I want to take him as a companion or something like that, if it's even possible.
Thinking about my next battle, I'm entering the fall forest when a Spriggan emerges from the trees. Her form is beautiful, and we stop to admire each other before I unsheath my weapon. Her body glows with bundles of light, as if a group of torch bugs dance inside her hollowed chamber. It's a frame made of solid oak, flesh stronger than any shield. But it has a weakness. I reach for my wine bottle, and I can almost see her wooden mouth twist into a smile. Then she realizes. As I tilt the bottle, the substance inside is viscous, moving with the consistency of oil. Her fears are confirmed when I pour it on my blade, as Spriggans fear only fire.
And restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home.
Right, yeah, we heard that story before. Let's see what's the time. It's almost... I don't think I can still sleep on that bed, can I? Nope. And this one next door. Oh, snow. Okay.
There once was a hero named Ragnar the Red, who came riding to Whiterun from old Rorikstead. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade, as he told of bold battles and gold he had made.
Alright, so... we did spend another day at Riverwood and heard the story of Malik. And we did collect a couple of ingredients, though they aren't worth much. I wonder if we can learn their effects at the enchantment table. Over here. No, we need alchemy table. And that one I think is inside the sleeping giant, right?
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Okay, seems like Hioromir is using the table now.
Anything you need? Goodbye.
Okay, I'll have to wait. So I'll just
What are you doing that for?
sit here and wait till he's done. Your thirst is increasing. Letting your thirst increase will cause you to endure more debuffs to your local magicka, stamina, and shout cooldown. Continuing to mismanage your thirst will eventually cause you to damage over time. Restore your thirst by drinking water or other beverages. Okay. So I will need to drink something. And we do have this bottle of ale. And we are sitting at a bar, so maybe it's appropriate to drink that. The thirst is quenched. And it's interesting that sometimes there are leftovers left from food.
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
Let's ask if we can use the alchemy lab, because I don't think we asked that yet.
Long as you clean up. You know how to use it, right? Mix a couple of ingredients together, see what happens. A little wheat and blisterwort makes a healing potion, if you didn't know. We have plenty of ingredients for sale, too.
Okay, and it seems like the potion making table just freed. Alright. I think in order to learn the effects of ingredient, you can eat it. So if I eat this, okay, Thistle branch resists frost. And red mountain flower. Also, I didn't. Okay, I learned what it does, but I didn't have the chance to read it. Fly Amanita. I have a feeling this one is poisonous. Okay. Yeah, it seems like I'm not well from eating the ingredients. Why am I holding a bottle in my hand? Is it from drinking? Okay. And I also got this craft a potion miscellaneous quest. I wonder if we can make a potion with just these two ingredients. And okay, let's save. All right. Now let's try what Fly Amanita does. Once. Okay, it also, oh, it resists fire. Okay. Okay, and now if I go here, can I ingredient and optional? Oh, I see, so I can't add same ingredient twice. Alright, I need at least 2 different ingredients with the same effect. Hey, someone dropped cheese. Is that cheese? I don't know.
And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of bold battles and gold.
What? Why am I holding a bottle? This is a bit weird, but anyway. Can I fill this bottle with water, for example? Okay, I can. Bottle of water. Nice. Alright. Interesting. But how do I... Nope, it stays in my hand forever. That's fine. Okay, let's search for some more ingredients in the vicinity here. What about these mushrooms? Mora tapinella. Okay. Okay, apparently this flower does nothing. More tapinella. Let's bring out some light. But in this night the moonlight is kind of enough. We don't even need light. Right, let's see what these mushroom does. Restore magicka. Okay. So now we know. I'm debating whether or not I should use magic in this playthrough. Oh no. Oh no. There's the mudcrab. I wonder if I can take it with a dagger. Is it possible? Okay. Okay. Alright, so a little bit of fighting and our hunger is increasing. Letting your hunger increase will cause you to endure more debuffs to your stamina, regeneration and melee effectiveness. Continuing to mismanage your hunger will eventually cause you damage over time. Restore hunger by eating food. Alright. And this crab that we have defeated gave us crab meat, mudcrab legs, and mudcrab hitine. Let's take all of that. And yeah, by now I think the moon is almost over the mountain, so let's bring in the light. Mountain flower. Okay, 2 of those. Let's see what they do. Restore health. And what does Mudcrab hitting do? Seems something to do with stamina. Wonder if these resources that I'm collecting are replenishable, or if they're like one for the whole game. I'm not sure. And let's save here, because I am quite far from the Riverwood and approaching new territory. Okay, what does this say? Balkruf the Greater, Jarl of Whiterun, invites any and all law-abiding residents of Skyrim to purchase the recently renovated Riverwood cottage for the price of 15,000 gold coins. I see. So these can be our home. That's very nice, luxurious property. I don't have money for it, of course, right now, but something to keep in mind. The exhaustion is increasing. Continue to... Okay, restore exhaustion by sleeping. Okay, so now we are hungry and we need to sleep. Oh no, and there's a wolf. So let's run away. At least I thought that was a wolf. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a dog, but I'm not going to take any chances right now, because I'm literally level 1. Is he still following me? Nope. Well, I don't think he does. Okay. Yeah, that was quite an eventful night. We battled Mudcrab and got away from some kind of danger. I'm still pretty sure it was a wolf. Oh, what is this? Okay, that's just some vines. Okay, so that was kind of stealing wheat. I wouldn't call this harvest. I would say we stole that wheat. Okay, nobody saw that, but yeah. I would say that was still stealing and not strictly harvesting.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. I think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Oh. Okay. I think I stole that one. Let's see. I didn't mean to though. But since it's stolen, and the wheat is stolen.
Ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors, the Imperials. We drink to our
Let's craft this stolen ingredients concoction. Oh, so when you create a potion, and it's like the correct potion, you also figure out what each ingredient does. Sorry.
We'll drive out the storm cloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home. Down with Ulfric, the killer of kings. On the day of your death, we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim, and we fight all our lives.
But if we combine ingredients that are
but this land is ours, and we'll see it wiped clean.
not quite in the same, what happens then? Yeah, it's a failed potion. Okay, that makes sense. So now okay, this is a really weak potion. It starts 4 points of health per second. 10 seconds. And I assume apparently that the potion that was failed, we didn't even get anything out of it, so it's like wasted ingredients pretty much. Okay, that's interesting. But what if I also wanted to cook? How would that look like?
Watch what you're doing.
Sorry, the controls are kind of hard. So can I use this pot? Doesn't seem so. can use the one in Riverwood Trader. To cook, I think. Let me see if they're open. Seems like they are. Lukon is sleeping apparently. And yeah, I can use this cooking pot. And I have all the recipes, so it's similar to Forge. I don't need to learn recipe in order to produce it. Which I can't say I'm a big fan of. It's kind of weird. Get steamed mudcrab legs. 2 mudcrab legs, 1 salt pile. Alright, you know what? We will try to cook this when we have the salt pile. It's still very strange that I can take some things here, but not others. Like some of these potions are not stealing. Yeah, this is very strange. Hey, look, if I can buy a pinch of salt from you.
You and me, we're the only people around who aren't complete fools. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
So... Yes, this. Okay, it's quite pricey. And I don't have a lot of money. But I'm just curious. Can I sell something to this guy? Yeah, for 2 now, thank you.
Damn thieves. As if things weren't bad enough.
So, and if can I use the cooking pot, please? All right. So, oh, I need 2 mudcrab legs and I only have 1. Okay. What about meat? Okay, so mudcrab meat isn't good enough. That's kind of strange. Because legs can be cooked. But meat, it seems, cannot. So do I need another mudcrab leg? Let's see if there's another mudcrab somewhere there. Okay, so last time we met a mudcrab somewhere over here, I think. I can also catch a small juvenile mudcrab. Okay. And I can eat it to learn. Okay, do I want to know what sort of effect it does? Stamina regeneration. Okay. Yeah, so apparently mudcrabs will appear here. It's just that you need kind of give some time to them. Before they can spawn. Oh, there's a fish. Can I catch that fish? Oh, I can just catch fish. I don't even need a fishing rod. I'm thirsty. Alright, let's drink. So let's eat this and drink this. And now the only problem we have left is sleeping. And we could go to the inn and sleep there. But I think I know another place where we can do it for free. What is this, by the way? East Empire Company. Warehouse. Oh, I see. Okay. Let's fill in another bottle. Perfect. And if I run... Seems like someone dropped their woods. Maybe it was Feindel? Oh, I see. He just drops it here. Okay. For the Alvors. Blacksmith forge. There's a smelter also. Nice. I gotta say, this expanded Riverwood forge looks a lot nicer than the one in vanilla game. So in terms of camping, I was thinking maybe here would be a good spot, but I don't have a camp bed right now. And I think you can make your own camp bed at the forge. Let me see. Would have to be from the right side, of course. So if I type in camping supplies, build a campsite when outdoors, 3 firewood, 1 leather. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what we have. So let's try to create that. And now if we go just outside the the Riverwood, maybe over here. Let's see if we can set up our camp. Okay, we can use that. Does it say? Okay, apparently we're too close to a settlement. What about here? Seems like a good spot. Yeah, let's try here maybe. Shall I build a campsite here? Yes. Let's see what that would look like. Campsites allow you to rest and stay warm while exploring the wilderness. You can cook a limited number of meals over the campfire. Your campsite is marked on your map, so you can locate and fast travel to it later. Okay. Well, I don't plan to use fast travel, but... Okay, so there's a crate and a very basic shelter and a bed. Which we can use to sleep. Whoa. Okay, camera is doing its camera thing. Apparently. Anyways. Because let me maybe try to do this again. Nope, still weird. Anyways, let's try to... Well, it's midday now, so what happens if we sleep like for 3 hours or something? Will this be enough? No, it's like we still want to sleep, it seems. Alright, yeah, also this campsite is not fireproof, I would say. It's gonna start a fire. That is not good, but anyways, yeah, we're still hungry. And we're also quite dirty actually, but not sure how to deal with that problem yet. So if I use campfire, I can, for example, cook my fish, and it does require salt pile, but how soon would the salt pile deplete? I wonder. Okay, and can now sit and have my meal. Use a table. What? What does it mean? There's no table, I'm sitting at a crate. Well, at least I'm not hungry anymore. Another thing that I noticed is that my first and third person switch broke, so I can't properly switch now. Also, this clock is wrong. But anyways, let's sleep for 8 hours. But why are you tired again? So sleeping at the campsite doesn't restore your tiredness? That would be weird. First. Yeah, it seems so. Huh. But then what's the point of campsite then? Yeah, and there's... Oh my god. So it's like proper storm. Okay, so let's break camp. Alright. And let's go back to Riverwood because this storm is for some reason this doesn't count as taking a bath, which again is kind of weird. I would expect it to, but anyways. What is this? Wolf remains? Where did these come from? Okay, let's go into the tavern.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Good idea.
Oh, damn, the leg's playing up. I should see a healer one of these.
So, let's drink something. Okay. Let's eat something. And let's also rent a room. But for that, I would need to speak to Delphine, which I don't see anywhere right now. Nope, she's not here. Maybe she's downstairs. Nope, nobody's here. Oh, here she is. So
that visitor been poking around.
I want a room.
It's yours for a day.
She never shows me which room is mine, which is very weird. Come on, people,
Brings you to Riverwood.
let me through. Yep, that's not my bed again. Okay, so this one is mine now. And my first person button is working again. Nice. So let's close the door and have a nap. Like that, I guess. Okay, so now I'm well rested, but I'm thirsty and hungry again. And I make anything here? Does it seem like I can? Alright, so let's save the game and we'll continue our adventures in the next video. Nope, that's not the button.